Hello, everybody. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started for today, April 15th, 2024, Gary Sanitary District meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we'll have roll call.
Commissioner William Allen.
Present.
Commissioner Ola Morris. Commissioner Maurice Mabon.
Present.
Commissioner William Cook.
Present.
Attorney Jewel Harris Jr.
Present.
Finance Manager Jerome Foster.
Present.
And that's the end of roll call.
We have a quorum. Next, we'll move on to certification. Pursuant to Indiana State Law, Section 5-14-1.5-6.1, I certify that prior to the start of today's meeting, there was an executive session held, and there was nothing discussed in the session that's not indicated on the posted notice. That being said, being in compliance with Indiana statutes, there were no final votes held during the executive session. Does any member dissent? Hearing none, we'll move on. Attorney Harris?
Yes, there's one pressing matter that I'd like to bring before the board. There's currently a vacancy in the executive director position here at the Gary Sanitary District. We do need someone to fulfill the duties of the executive director in the interim. I would make a recommendation that an appointment be made to ensure that those duties are fulfilled.
Okay, hearing that, do we have a motion, and I guess we'll do it individually, to appoint as interim Brenda Scott Henry as Director of GSD Administration and Stormwater?
You're looking for a motion, or
I'm looking for a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
No, you need a motion.
That is the motion.
That is the motion?
That's the motion. We just need a second.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Okay, motion made and properly second. Roll call.
Commissioner Cook.
Yes.
Commissioner Mabon.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris. Yes. Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
For 4 ayes and 0 noes, motion is passed. Congratulations, Ms. Brenda Scott Henry, again as interim director of GSD Administration and Stormwater. Oh, and I'm sorry, Mr. Lyles isn't present. It's excused. Okay, do we also have a motion to promote for interim Kola Owosika for interim director of engineering and plant operations?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and properly second. Roll call.
Commissioner Cook.
Yes.
Commissioner Mabon.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris. Yes. Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes and 0 noes, motion is passed. Congratulations, Kola Wasika. Again, title interim director of engineering and plant operation. Okay, so moving on, next on the agenda, we have minutes. Well, what is the pleasure of the minutes?
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept and approve the executive session of regular meeting minutes of April 1, 2024.
I'd like to second, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and properly second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Cook.
Yes.
Commissioner Mabon.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris. Yes. Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes and 0 noes, motion has passed to approve the minutes for April 1st, 2024. Now we have new business. Mr. Foster?
Thank you. I make a motion to approve GSD payroll earnings for period ending March 11th, 2024 through March 24th, 2024, in the amount of $254,027.23.
Do we have any questions or comments on payroll? Hearing none, what is the pleasure of the board?
So moved, Mr. Chair, for approval.
Is there a second?
I second it, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and properly second. Roll call?
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 yeses and 0 noes, motion is passed for 2.1 for payroll. Moving on to 2.2, Director Henry.
You have a motion to award a bid to LGS Plumbing, Inc. for the sanitary and storm sewer repair at the vicinity of 700 Roosevelt Street in the amount not to exceed $38,400. I recommend for approval.
Do we have any questions or comment? What is the pleasure of the board for 2.2?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
I second it, Mr. Chair.
Motion has been made and properly second. Roll call?
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
4 ayes and 0 noes, motion is passed for 2.2. Next we have claims. Mr. Foster?
Thank you. I make a motion to approve and ratify GSD claim numbers, there's 1,045 through 1148, in the amount of $817,983.29.
Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, what is the pleasure of the board?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Motion has been made and properly second for 3.1. Roll call?
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes and 0 noes, motion is passed for 3.1 for claims. Next we have information updates. Mr. Eric Tunk for construction activities.
Good afternoon, Board. Going to provide a quick update. Not much has changed the last 2 weeks. I talked with the Army Corps of Engineers. The grid project is still under litigations. They indicated the agreement is going to be reached soon. I don't know what soon means though, unfortunately, but hopefully we can get this project completely closed out between the Army Corps of Engineers and the contractor. 27th Chase Street Pump Station Force Main Replacement Project. I believe there's a pre-construction meeting coming up soon with the contractor. They're expecting the parts to be delivered. I know they're anxious to get working on this project. For the bar screen replacement project at 27th and Chase, we had a meeting and the bar screens were delayed 1 more week for delivery, but they are to be delivered this week. The contractor's eager to jump in and get this 1 bar screen demoed and replaced. They think they can do that in a week's time, and they are so far indicating they can still get this project done on time per change order 1 with that time extension. The Lake Street Drainage Improvements Project, the contractor's working between 3rd Avenue and Hancock. I always got to slow down and think of those street names. Hemlock? So they're so similar. They put in the sidewalks, the bike lanes coming in next, so they're still working on the hardscape between 3rd Avenue going north. And that's all I have.
On the Lake Street, we're further along than the invoice indicates, aren't we?
Yes, they have 7 invoices. I probably haven't updated that in a while.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'll be sure to update that. We're probably closer to 1 point some million, maybe 2 by now.
Because I think we made payment this past week, didn't we? And so we should be closer to about 1.5 million on that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be sure I'll update the report.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you. Next we have American Structure Point.
Afternoon, Board. John Tucker, Structure Point. Our current sanitary project is 27th and Chase, as Eric mentioned. They're still waiting for the bends or the fittings for the pipe, all the other pipes on site. We do have the next progress meeting is Wednesday, so hopefully we'll receive a better update as to what their timeline is, but they were end of April, early May was the last update we received. So that is our current sanitary related projects at this time. If there's any questions, feel free to answer.
Do we have any questions or comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have CDM Smith.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Board. Matt Bednarski with CDM Smith. I have a short update for you. You heard about the 27th and Chase bar screen project from Eric earlier. So we are continuing to work with that, and we are working with staff here on the April 25th deadline for the long-term control plan. But no further updates other than that. So happy to answer whatever questions you might have.
Do we have any comments or questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda brings us to discussion. Are there any topics or items that any of the members would like to discuss?
I just had a couple things. I know we've had some delays on a newsletter that we've yet to publish, which is a part of the information part of the consent decree. And I hope we can get rolling on that. And in 504, obviously there's nobody here to give us any comment on that, but I'm thinking that we're making some progress on that.
Actually, we met with 504 with an opening deadline of June 1, and we have orders for the equipment. They were signed off earlier this week, so we should be ramping up, getting the training and everything for that to open up June 1.
Are we going to be utilizing Paymentus at any capacity?
Yes, we had a conversation with Paymentus. I want to say it was Tuesday, maybe it was Monday. Get my days a little mixed up here. But they were able to fully implement everything along with Ross Tech, and we was on the call for about 3 hours with them to get it all squared away.
Thank you.
So we're fairly confident that we're going to be open by June 1, if not earlier.
Yeah, thank you.
And Commissioner Maybon will look into the newsletter as well
Okay, great.
and have a better update for you on the opening of 504 Broadway. All right.
Any other topics of discussion? Okay, hearing none. Are there any requests to speak?
No, sir.
Okay, moving on to, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Motion made, and been seconded, meeting adjourned. Okay, we'll get started with the next meeting. So we have Gary Stormwater Management District. Today is Monday, April 15th, 2024. Roll call.
Director William Allen.
Present.
Director Ola Morris.
Present.
Director Maurice Mabon.
Present.
Director William Cook.
Yes, present.
Attorney Jewel Harris Jr.
Present.
And we have interim Director of Engineering and Plant Operations, Ola Awusika. Interim Director of Administration and Stormwater, Brenda Scott Henry. Finance Manager, Jerome Foster.
Present.
And that's the end of roll call.
We have a quorum. And then also for the record, Director Lyles is absent today, not present. Okay, moving on to certification. There were no items discussed in executive session pertaining to stormwater, so we'll move on to minutes. What is the pleasure of the minutes?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes of April 1, 2024 for stormwater.
Do we have a second?
I second it, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and properly second for the minutes. Roll call?
Director Cook.
Yes.
Director Mabon.
Yes.
Director Morris.
Yeah.
Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
4 ayes, 0 noes, motion is passed to approve the minutes. Moving on to new business, Mr. Foster.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve and ratify GSWMD, the payroll earnings for period ending March 11, 2024 through March 24th, 2024, in the amount of $6,265.42.
Thank you. Do we have any comments or questions about payroll? Okay, hearing none, what is the pleasure of the board?
So move, Mr. Chair, for approval.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Motion's been made and properly second for payroll. Roll call?
Director Cook.
Yes.
Director Mabon.
Yes.
Director Morris.
Yes.
Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes and 0 noes, motion is passed to approve the payroll. Moving on to claims, Mr. Foster.
Thank you. I recommend a motion to approve and ratify GSWMD claim numbers 51 through 53 in the amount of $1,047.80.
Do we have any comments or questions on
I
claims?
did have one question and claim. Mr. Foster, I noticed we still pay Michael's Water World. Do we have any fish in that aquarium?
Yes.
Yes, they're fishing.
Okay. I know the big one died, right? Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure we were being charged accordingly.
Any other questions? Hearing none, what is the pleasure of the board for claims?
Let's move for acceptance and approval, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second it, please.
Motion's been made and properly second for claims. Roll call, please.
Director Cook.
Yes.
Director Mabon.
Yes.
Director Morris.
Yes.
Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes and 0 noes, motion is passed to approve claims. Moving on to information updates, Director Brenda Scott Henry.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the board, and should have said it in the previous meeting. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as the interim Director of Administrative Services for GSD and for Stormwater Management District. I appreciate it. Secondly, we had an awesome turnout this weekend for the community cleanup from the Genesis Center all the way down to Broadway. We had tons of people who came out and volunteered. Actually, the event was scheduled for 9:30 until 3, but we finished early and we were able to leave early. But simultaneously, There was a Plant Palooza event happening at Marquette Beach where we had vendors that were out there. And this is the work of Kimmy Gordon at Brown Faces, Green Spaces. But they were at Market Park. You had EPA, IDEM, all of our environmental groups who were out there sharing information with the public and also doing a beach cleanup. So we had some really great things happening on last Saturday. This Saturday, Think Big will also be out doing some community cleanup. Those who are interested in volunteering to participate in the community cleanups should contact City Hall, and that number is 219-881-1300, and they will direct you to where you can sign up for volunteering. And so they will be doing this each Saturday throughout the month, so the 20th and the 27th. For Earth Month, we also continue to have our lunch and learns on Wednesdays. So our last presentation was done by one of our partners, OAI, who talked about the green infrastructure maintenance that they are doing throughout the city of Gary. This week, we will have the Wetland Initiative talk about the work that they're doing at Hatchet Park and the along the Little Calumet River. And so followed by that will be our recycling department and public works. We'll talk about how to properly dispose of waste. And the final lunch and learn on Wednesday will be our U.S. Forest Service is talking about how to plant a tree, and we will also be giving away trees. So I'll share some of that information, those events with the board and as well as with staff. And but the information is available on the City of Gary's website, so you can also ascertain that information there. That's all I have. If you have any questions about the information that we have in the from the MS4 report, please let me know, or I can respond.
Do we have any comments or questions? Okay. Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have American Structure Point.
Afternoon, Directors. John Tucker, Structure Point. Our current US 20 Complete Street project, we will have a pre-con next Monday, 9 a.m., so we'll be able to get some status on that project. We do have utility relocation on that project, so we are working on getting updates from utilities, as well as a few right-of-way acquisitions that I actually just got updated today of status. So we'll have some more information hopefully presented to us at next week's pre-con, and then be able to see an anticipated start. I still feel we're probably a month out from starting work, but we'll get the pre-construction activity started. Moving on to our Lake Street drainage project, Mr. Maybach, we're actually through invoice 8 and up to 2.5 million, sir, is where we currently stand for the Lake Street project.
Appreciate
That was
that.
through the end of March.
That kind of shows the progress.
Yes, sir. So currently happening, concrete work, sidewalk from 3rd Street towards Cypress. We are gapping areas that the National Park's doing their pedestrian bridge, so we're not doing any newer work within those areas right now. We still have to come back to the 3rd Street intersection as well. So currently working sidewalk, and then grading ahead of the sidewalk crew. Grimmer does have a roadway grading crew scheduled for next Monday to start digging out from Cypress to Hemlock, removing the soil and placing stone, and then asphalt will follow that probably 2 weeks out to get the first lift of asphalt and continue with the roadway work up to Hemlock. That is currently the status of the two projects. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Hi, just a comment. I've been
Yes,
out
sir.
there observing. I live out there, and you guys are really making some serious progress.
Yes.
I saw them putting in sidewalks and what have you, clearing both sides, so it's going to be impressive, I
Yes.
think, when it's finished.
It's definitely picked up the past couple of weeks. Once
It has.
concrete work goes quickly, you can see it. All the underground, no one knows what's being done for weeks, but now you can start seeing the progress. But thank you, sir.
Do we have any comments, any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Robinson Engineering.
Good afternoon, Directors. Ron Smith with Robinson Engineering, and congratulations, Brenda and Cola. Not much to update from 2 weeks ago. Bridge work is still being done on the Lake Street Bridge, number 243. Demo work is being done, and it's still anticipated for completion before the 4th of July. So that's the anticipated completion of the bridge before the 4th of July holiday. We're still working on the Sixth Place project on revising the drainage design and also updating the cost for the project. I will entertain any questions that the directors may have at this point.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will we know what the bridge is going to look like when completed? I kind of had an idea what the old bridge looked like.
We do have some drawings, but it's more of a rehabilitation project. We want to keep the historical look of the bridge. So that's why the bridge was not totally removed and replaced to brand new. So we want to kind of keep the nostalgia of the bridge itself. So I will make sure I email. They're not color, so it's kind of hard to decipher of what the bridge is going to look like, but I will send what I have out, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next brings us to discussion. Are there any topics that any of the members would like to discuss at this time? Okay, hearing none, moving on. Are there any requests to speak? Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment? Is there a second?
I second. Chair.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.